Friends, thank you for watching my channel. I just want to remind you, if you need wallpaper, go to www.wallpaperboulevard.com. Tell them Spencer sent you. In fact, if you use my hashtag, Spencer Colgan is wallpaper, they'll be sure to give you a 10% off at your checkout. No matter how much you order, they have a wide selection of wallpaper. Check it out. Tell them I said hello. So the customer wants the wall up against the cabinet painted. A couple of things to keep in mind when you're doing this. Especially when someone purchases a new home and they have high standards, they may not notice all of the white paint that the last painter got on that cabinet. This is a travesty. This is ridiculous. And what it is laziness. I mean, will this come off? Yeah, it will. But that's on there for a couple of years. Okay, so my point is, you have to protect yourself as the painter, and you have to at least let them know that this was on the cabinets, especially if you're painting white. You might want to say, hey, listen, this is on the cabinet. Secondly, you may not want to approach them directly. Just take a video of it. And if it comes up, you might want to discreetly say, I didn't want to say anything, but because you never know. The homeowner's brother might have done it. You might want to take a quick video, time and date, stamp it, and say, this was there. That's up to you, but I would certainly make a note of that, because when people take a look at your paint job, they tend to notice things that they've never seen before. Okay, having said that, let's move on to point number 2. Point number 2 is this. Now, these are high quality cabinets. But let's say you can't distinguish between high quality and not high quality. I have used tape that has pulled the finish off of cabinets. Believe it or not, especially on these sides here. You're not going to pull this off. It's made from different material. But this tends to be the cheapest stuff on cheap cabinets, this particular part. And so we're using yellow tape here. This is the least tacky tape. And take a look how the last painter got paint onto the cabinetry. You see down here. So what we want to do is clean that up. We're not going to carve that paint off. Okay, you can see that, right? We're not going to carve that paint off. What we're going to do is make a nice straight line of green paint by simply painting a 1/16 of an inch onto the cabinet, joining the wall with the cabinet. Now, you know from previous videos that the only way to do that is to caulk it. And in this case, I highly recommend a clear caulking, so that when it dries clear. And you won't see a white edge of white caulking. Please don't say, you can use white, don't worry about it. No, you can't, because all the work that you just put into this is going to fail when it dries and you see a white caulking edge. That's what you're trying to avoid. Okay, so let's get this painted nice, right? I don't suggest that you go out and buy a fancy caulking applicator. Your fingers work just fine. Now, my tape edge right here is stuffed with caulking. So if I failed to tape down the yellow tape firmly, if I failed and there's a little gap, guess what? I just made sure that I stuffed it with caulking and it's good. Let's move on and paint it and see how it comes out. Remember, I'm going to cover this so that it doesn't splatter, because even if I'm brushing or rolling over here, it will splatter over here too. So I'm going to put a sufficient amount of paint in here, just so that there's no chance of that white showing anymore, or anything for that matter. I finish it off in one direction. Okay. When I go up near the ceiling, I go up there, not with a soaking wet brush. You don't want to push too much texture onto that ceiling. Don't rush this part. You don't want to be touching up the ceiling if you don't have to. Just easy with that bristle brush. Easy, easy, easy. Now, you see how I can't get into the corner there? Don't force this brush into that corner. It can't do it. You want to get your artist brush out and finish off that corner. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Okay.
Now watch where I put this arrow. You're going to see that my caulking pooled there. Right there in that profile. Just be careful when you're wrapping your tape around a profile of crown molding or other trim. Your caulking may pool, but no problem, you're going to get it off. See in this video.
Don't rush this part. You don't want to be touching up the ceiling if you don't have to. Just easy with that bristle brush. Easy, easy, easy. Now, you see how I can't get into the corner there? Don't force this brush into that corner. It can't do it. You want to get your artist brush out and finish off that corner.
Another factor to consider is that when you're putting tape with your hand masker against the cabinets, please investigate the quality of cabinets against which you're putting masking tape. If you put the wrong tape on, you may pull off the veneer of very cheap cabinetry. Be careful. The benefit of using clear caulking is what you're looking at right there. If that were to dry, you'd never see it because it would dry completely clear, translucent, and you would see the color of the cabinet. But be sure to get that off before you proceed.
Not too bad. Just have a little cleanup at the top there. Not too bad. Let's get that cleaned up. You see that uneven line there? That's a previous painter. That could have been a lot neater had they used this technique.
My God.
After I cleaned the caulking, you'll see that a tiny bit of residue remains in that profile. Take a look right here. See that? But that dries clear. If you want to get that off, simply take a 2-inch putty knife, wrap a thin napkin around it, and gently push the putty knife up against the molding, and then proceed toward the caulking. When you touch it, you pull up, because you don't want to disturb the seal that your caulking made between the wall and the crown. If you mess with it too much, you'll need to caulk it again. So be careful. It's going to dry clear, and that's why we use clear caulking. Thanks for watching.